bogey.
Long time no see. I apologize for taking so long to make this video, but even though it's been almost a month since the movie came out, I'm not gonna let this one slip past me. I reviewed the first film, and for consistency, I think it's only right that I put in my 2 cents for the second one. Admittedly, my first review for the first film got very mixed reception, all because I wasn't really in love with it. So I'm gonna get this out of the way early. I formally apologize in advance if I come off as cynical or pretentious. I will most likely lose a follower or 2 over this video, and I'm okay with that. I wanna make it very clear. If you like this movie, that's totally okay. This is nothing personal against you, and if anything, I'm actually jealous. The real reason I took so long to make this is because I actually decided to revisit the original game over the past few weeks, and oh boy, I went from moderately disappointed to straight up offended. So let's go, full spoilers ahead. If you watched my review of the first film, you'll know that Mario Galaxy is my favorite game in the entire series. You'd also know that I absolutely adore Yoshi. So hey, things are already looking pretty good, right? Right. My first 2 video game consoles as a kid was the PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64. So surprise, surprise when I say one of my favorite games in preschool was easily Star Fox. And I'm aware that this is a very boring and cliche pick, but he's always been one of my favorites in the Smash Bros. Series alongside Kirby. So needless to say, when I saw a Mario Galaxy movie was coming out that was also going to have Yoshi and Star Fox, I was actually kind of hyped. But then I watched the movie. Yeah, let's just get this out of the way. This movie can be most accurately described as cinematic brainrot. It has very little character and quickly goes from one event to the next. It's a narrative that is best summed up as saying, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. The South Park guys said it best.
We've found out this really simple rule that maybe you guys have all heard before. We can take these beats, which are basically the beats of your outline, and if the words and then belong between those beats, you're You got something pretty boring. What should happen between every beat that you've written down is either the word therefore or but. So what I'm saying is that you come up with an idea and it's like, okay, this happens, right? And then this happens. No, it should be this happens and therefore this happens. But this happens, therefore this happens. And that affects this and that does to that. And that's why you get a show that feels like, okay, this to that, to this to that, but this, here's the complication to that.
I see movies.
And
you see movies that you're just watching, it's like, this happened, and then this happens, and then this happens. That's when you're in a movie just going, what the am I watching this movie for? Just like, this happened, and then this happened, and this happened. That's not a movie, you know, that's not a story.
The movie opens up with Mario and Luigi nonchalantly finding Yoshi in a Mario Odyssey level, literally just because these are things from the games. They set up that Mario has a crush on Peach, and he's all nervous about it, but then it's just instantly resolved at the end with a kiss. During Peach's party at the beginning, Peach talks about how she wonders about her lineage, only for that to be instantly resolved at the end when Rosalina is revealed to be her sister, and then they go Super Saiyan. Rosalina is barely in the film, and as a matter of fact, I think she's only in it for a total of 4 minutes, and ultimately it's just a plot device. The whole movie revolves around finding someone who we've never met and know nothing about. A character who was the heart and soul and core identity of the entire game. Yoshi's inclusion, sadly, doesn't really affect the story at all. You could easily remove him and replace him with any other sidekick, and it would more or less turn out the same. And that also kind of goes for Luigi and Toad as well. They start to set up this little moral conflict and complexity with Bowser at the beginning, but they don't explore it. The characters end up getting split up very early on in the movie, and it, again, feels like something that could have been completely removed. But if that wasn't enough characters to just toss aside, we have to have even more characters in this shit. I gotta give credit where credit is due. Glenn Powell is an amazing Fox McCloud. His anime intro sequence was very badass. And the idea of making Fox a Han Solo archetype is pretty cool on paper, but again, ultimately, Fox could have been interchanged with any other character or completely removed, and it wouldn't have made a difference at all. Also, stop telling us that Fox is cool. What happened to the golden rule of show, not tell? Is everyone calling him cool supposed to be funny or something? They also have this really crappy fake out where they try and set up this tension as if Mario is gonna have some rivalry with Fox over Peach for like half a second as a joke, and then they immediately flush it down the toilet just for Mario to go, wow, this guy's cool. It's like, this isn't funny. Like, what's the joke? Again, you had an opportunity there for Mario to overcome something or have some character growth. Like maybe, you know, he has a inferiority complex because he wants to impress Princess Peach, and it's like they tease that and then they immediately undercut it with a joke because we need to keep it funny, we need to keep the kids laughing, and everything keeps moving from one location to the next, not really giving anyone any time to have any amount of character growth. One of my predictions I made to my friends while going up to the movie was that they were gonna have a scene where they stopped the whole damn movie for a character to turn to the screen and say, do a barrel roll. They ended up doing that shit twice! And the sketchiest part about this whole thing is that apparently it was Illumination that asked if they could use Star Fox in the film. It was not Nintendo's idea and it was not Miyamoto's idea. So this isn't one of those classic studio interference scenarios where the studios are forcing creatives to cram in more shit. No, this was on the creatives' part. Now, I want everyone else to use their brains for a second and think, what other Nintendo property is being adapted into a film right now? The Legend of Zelda. I think this was a cynical corporate decision from Illumination to grab up those rights for Star Fox as fast as possible before anyone else could get any more Nintendo characters. They just had to get their grubby little minion hands all over Fox. Hell, I'm shocked they didn't try and shove Kirby into this shit. They could have easily shoehorned his cute little ass flying around on a star in the background. Thank God they didn't. Ultimately, all of this shit makes the movie feel like this weird Frankenstein project that was reverse engineered from a checklist of references. You gotta put a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Oh, would you like some of this on your that?
But admittedly, the fight scenes do look very pretty, and I think the film looks great aesthetically. I can say with confidence, this is one of Illumination's best looking films. It might actually be their very best looking film. I also appreciated that they used a lot more of the original music this time, instead of using licensed pop songs. I hate myself for it, but I even have to admit that I laughed at Yoshi walking the Biggie Smalls. And I'm also guilty of buying my girlfriend a Yoshi popcorn bucket. The whole experience kind of made me feel like this. But instead of complaining more, what would I have done to fix it? In my review of the first film, I offered some minor little tweaks that I thought would have made for a better film. I'm gonna attempt to do the same. Again, emphasis on minor tweaks. First off, I think we should have kept it with Peach being kidnapped, not Rosalina. I understand why they wanted to subvert expectations in the first film and have Luigi get kidnapped instead and leave room for Peach to be developed, but since she got her time in the spotlight in the first film, I think it was time that she took a backseat and we let some of these new characters come in and have their time to shine. It would have alleviated the bloated cast, and I think thematically actually would make more sense. So open the film with Bowser Jr. kidnapping Peach. He admires her because he wants to have a mother and felt abandoned by his father. Him longing for a mother figure is something that was already touched upon in the games and I think would have fit very well, again, thematically.
Junior, I've got something difficult to tell you about Princess Peach.
I know, she's not really my mama.
Princess Rosalina is watching over Bowser Jr.'s rampage across the galaxy, so she recruits Mario to help get Princess Peach back and stop Bowser Jr. This would be perfect motivation for Mario because number one, he had a lot of time to bond with Peach in the first film, seeing that she helped train him to become the fighter that he is, but also because that he never got the chance to tell her that he loved her. And with her being kidnapped now after he had time to bond with her, it's a lot more emotionally resonant because, again, he never got a chance to tell her how he felt and he feels like he'll never get it unless he saves her. It's also the perfect excuse to have more screen time with his brother Luigi, and it would be kind of funny if he makes a joke about how he wasn't the one who was kidnapped this time. You can then have Luigi try and convince Bowser to help him and Mario save Peach, since Mario and Bowser both love Peach, so even though they're sworn enemies, they have to team up together to both save the woman they love. One of the best elements of the film is the relationship between Bowser and Bowser Jr. I think there should have been more focus on that relationship, and instead of Bowser Jr. kidnapping Peach to impress his dad, he should have kidnapped Peach just because he wanted a mother and because his father wasn't there for him. Bowser has conflict because he loves his son, but he also loves Peach, and he feels guilty because he knows he wasn't there for Bowser Jr. and that he needs a parental figure. Now, is this the most groundbreaking or more original thing in the world? No, but all these elements were kind of already there in the movie, and I just think it would have been nice if they fleshed them out just a little bit more. But the biggest change I would make, and the one that would be most important, is that Yoshi should not be in the film at all. Have Yoshi replaced by a Luma. Yes, I know that Yoshi was in Mario Galaxy 2, but having a Luma as his sidekick would strengthen his connection to Rosalina and to the Galaxy theme overall. And the implications of this change go quite a bit further. Because really, there's two ways to see this movie. Either as a sequel to the first Mario Bros. Movie, or as a Mario Galaxy adaptation. The second interpretation is far more heartbreaking. Because in my opinion, the real heartbreak doesn't come from the fact that this movie is quote-unquote cinematic brain rot, where it's just a bunch of references and pretty colors, etc., etc. The real tragedy comes from when you compare this to Mario Galaxy the game. I know the Mario games aren't known for their stories, and that they're not considered Shakespeare, and that ultimately Mario's always been about gameplay. But Mario Galaxy was always something special. The original Mario Galaxy game had such a tangible and surreal atmosphere worthy of the galactic title. It made you feel the infinite expanse of the cosmos. Between the slow, ethereal music, followed by the swelling orchestra, the gorgeous backgrounds, the elegant weightlessness of hopping from planet to planet, the quiet, somewhat melancholy moments of contemplation, the observation dome and all of the magical rooms that were in it. The whole thing just had such a warm, safe, nostalgic feeling. But now, the observation dome is essentially just Star Fox's backup vehicle. But what was most detrimental is obviously Princess Rosalina in her storybook. While the storybook still technically makes an appearance, it's not utilized nearly as well. It's there to shoehorn in a new plot element, and doesn't have nearly the same amount of weight. In the original game, it told this tragic tale about how Rosalina became the mother of the Lumas, how she was trying to help the Lumas find their family, but in the process, she lost her own, about how she longed to see her mother who was buried under a tree, and how she has to carry the pain of knowing that she can never return home. But the Lumas comfort her and tell her that no one is ever truly gone, and how they'll always be a part of her. She learns this when the Lumas reveal that one day too, they will die. Their life will transcend their current form and they will become celestial bodies throughout the universe. She finds purpose in caring for the Lumas and looks after them before their day comes to leave the nest, because she knows that one day they will decay, become stardust, and be reborn again. She gives them unconditional love for all eternity, a love that she carries from her mother. Because death is not the end, it's just a new beginning. This theme of life and death and rebirth is completely gone. Rosalina was turned into a plot device in her own film. Someone in the background to motivate Peach's journey. The tragic irony is that they tried to make Peach a girl boss while stripping away everything that made Rosalina complex and turning her into a shallow damsel in distress, something that Princess Peach has always been categorized as, showing that the writer's intentions were kind of shallow all along. And the ending. Oh God, the ending! The reason why Yoshi should have been dropped is because Baby Luma was so powerful in the original. If you don't remember, the game ends with an epic battle with Bowser in the center of the universe. The intensity of this battle culminates in a giant black hole that will devour the entire universe. All seems lost and everyone's doomed, until, in a last-ditch effort to save Mario, Peach, and even Bowser, along with the entire universe, the Luma who had befriended you and been by your side as your closest companion the whole game, sacrifices himself with all the other baby Lumas in order to rebuild the fabric of time and space itself and save everybody. It's a punch right in the gut. After losing your friend, Rosalina explains that this is the cycle of life, and that ultimately, just like everything else in the world, it is the Luma's fate to die. The themes of loss and rebirth come full circle. Rosalina has lived for eons amongst the stars, watching her children die and be reborn time and time again. But she'll always be there, watching and waiting with love in her heart, knowing that someday she'll see them again. Mario, Peach, and Bowser awaken in a reborn world. And after everything, Mario just smiles. It's somewhat of a bittersweet ending, but it's one you'll remember forever. In the movie, could have been so much more impactful if it actually had a fucking theme. All they had to do was follow the simplicity and beauty of the game, instead of the weird, convoluted popcorn slop. Because did we really need Luigi to summon Game & Watch? Did we really need to nonchalantly kill Bowser and turn him into a giant skeleton? Did we really need Princess Peach and Rosalina going fucking Super Saiyan and saving the day? Instead of a story that actually has a central theme about love and loss, and learning to create a better world, forming this strong companionship between Mario and a little Luma. Sure, the title of the movie is Mario Galaxy, and it has a lot of the aesthetics and a lot of the music, but without the themes and without the story that those aesthetics and that music was attached to, they're just boiled down to references. Did all the fans praising this movie, telling the critics to shut up and that they don't know how to have a good time, forget where we came from? Did they forget Mario Galaxy? And not only Mario Galaxy, because instead of making a movie for each game, they decided to shoehorn like 4 games into one movie. Was a whole galaxy not enough? You got Mario Odyssey stuff in there for some reason. You could have had a Yoshi's Island movie dedicated to Yoshi and Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, and saved Bowser Jr. for the Mario Sunshine movie. And it could have had a really cool tropical theme, and it would have been really fun and really cool. But no, let's just chop it up into little bits and fucking blend it into the Mario Galaxy movie, because why not? I was able to forgive the first movie because it was their first time. They had to somehow put video game concepts into a movie, and I was hoping that the second film would expand upon it. But I would have never guessed they would have filtered anything meaningful out of the original. It really does make it feel like a collection of TikTok shorts meant to throw something flashy up every couple of minutes to keep the audience engaged. Just a dopamine blaster with no substance. Brought to you by the corporate entity that gave your aunt Facebook Minion memes. The movie is forgettable shovelware that will not be a classic like the video games it's based on. Mario Galaxy is almost 20 years old and still has cultural value. This movie will not have the same legacy. They got away with it the first time, and they just did the same shit again, knowing they would inevitably be successful, and that's why it hurts so bad. People keep saying shit like, it's just a kid's movie, or it's not the worst thing ever. Why would you spend millions of dollars on something that's, quote, not the worst thing ever? We're talking about one of the most beloved characters of all time.
It's not that deep, bro.
Yeah, but it kinda is. Between the rise of illiteracy, short attention spans, and just an overall apathetic anti-intellectualism that's numbing everyone into zombies is just really disheartening. Kids deserve better. This movie would have done insanely good at the box office, whether or not it was slop or it was a genuine piece of art. The name alone is what's gonna sell it. I mean, it's Mario, come on. The creators knew this, and they took it as the ticket to be lazy and not give a shit. We all deserve better than that, especially for a film that's gonna make a bajillion gazillion dollars and inevitably have a bajillion gazillion sequels. Kids don't even know what they want, so at least give them something nourishing. You got The Iron Giant, you got Avatar: The Last Airbender, WALL-E, Up. Hell, even sillier stuff like Shrek and Kung Fu Panda have something to say with satisfying character arcs. A good example of a series that managed to elevate itself past its first film is Puss in Boots. The first Puss in Boots was okay, but that second one was amazing. It was a lot darker and dealt with heavier themes like death and anxiety, and it had a lot to say and did a lot with the characters. It was fantastic. Again, I kind of gave the first movie a pass because the old Mario games didn't really have a lot of story, but Mario Galaxy had no excuse because they actively stripped away what story was there. How Mario fans don't find this insulting and parents don't find this annoying is confusing to me. As we know, money talks, and this movie's overwhelming financial success is not only going to hurt the future of Mario movies, it's going to hurt the future of animated movies in general. And when you really think about it, it can't exist on its own in a vacuum. If you took out all the Mario stuff and just tried to use the framework, it would be fucking impossible because the movie has no framework. It's only good by association. Replace all the characters, it no longer works. And what's something without a skeleton? It's just an amorphous blob that can't stand for shit. If I have any takeaway from this whole experience is go see Hoppers. Hoppers blew me away. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh God, here we go. Another talking animal movie. Like, been there, done that, same old shit. But then I went to go see it, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually shed a little bit of a tear. If you wanna take your kid to go see a truly great animated film for all ages, go see Hoppers. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. And with that out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a rating. Whew, damn. I think I gave the first movie like a 6. I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give this movie a 4, because I think the animation is fun, and there are a few moments that made me laugh, but seeing Hoppers right before seeing this movie and then playing through Mario Galaxy again, this movie didn't stand a chance. So again, I'm sorry if I sound like an asshole, but it kind of blows my mind so many people defend this and just give it so much praise just because, oh, I had a fun time. I'm like, that's great. I'm all for a fun time. But all I'm trying to say is that you can still have a great time while still having developed characters and a story that'll take you on a memorable journey. Anyways, thanks for listening to me rant, and I'll catch you at the next review.
It's a me, a Mario.